So I'm, as you said, Arjun, in solder. So uh, each faculty has their own kind of resources. There's obviously resources that are cross faculty as well, but I would speak specifically to solder because I know that best. In first year, I'm academics were fine. They were pretty doable for me. A lot of my studies, I did the IB program in school, and a lot of my studies, actually, the knowledge carried over. I did a higher level econ and commerce in IB, and so some of that carried over, which was obviously very helpful. But there's a lot of academic resources. You can ask upper year students. There's this program where they will kind of teach you stuff. So I was struggling in math. I've never been very good at it. So I always need a lot more practice. So I went there every week, practiced questions, and had asked any questions I had. All of that stuff is there. But you have to use it. No one's going to force you to do it. You have to be very self-motivated, which is a big thing that's different from school, I would say, because you have your parents and your teachers who know you well, but here you have to be self-motivated, which is...
Well said, well said. And so what is the typical day in the life of a solder student? What do you really do other than classes, maybe projects, case studies, collaboration?
So it really depends. My day has changed it's very different now than it was in first year. In first year, I was, trying to build my social circle as well as balance courses and all that. So great way was to join clubs. I was in this Inactus club where we went out to schools across Vancouver, and I did some presentations, taught a few business concepts, and that was a great way to meet people. So a typical day would be go to class in the morning, have lunch with friends, and then study for the rest of the day in the evening, and then because in first year you live in first year residence, it's probably the most social year. You meet the most amount of people in first year. After that, you kind of move out and you stay in that circle. But it usually consists of classes and then just hanging out with friends. And classes are very interactive as well, and lots of group work.
Fantastic. So typically, what are the areas of study within business that you started focusing on? How much flexibility is there to choose classes?
Right.
And where do you think you'd be sort of headed next in terms of a concentration within the business functions?
Right. So in first year, you pick standard timetable. So it's basically all the required commerce courses are all in that timetable. And then it's a quite wide range of commerce courses. First and second year, basically, you're building your commerce base. So it's everything from HR to marketing, accounting, finance. You learn sort of everything, as well as some electives that you can pick yourself. So that would be classes from other faculties. And then after second year, you kind of pick your specialization, which is you have a choice of 10 different specializations, which would be like marketing, HR, finance, accounting, and so on. And they're very flexible. Like I know people who after third year were like, no, I don't like finance that much. I'll switch to marketing and things like that. That's very flexible. You can also switch from faculties. Like I have a really close friend who was in solder. After second year, he decided to move to arts. And then has now moved to architecture and really is loving it. So it is quite flexible. You kind of figure out what you like in the first couple of years, and then you can
That's really good to know, because very often students think that it's only the US or the liberal arts schools that offer that flexibility to switch. But it's fantastic that UBC allows that. Of course, students have to meet requirements and probably have to do a lot more study because they're moving colleges, not just a course within a college. Tell me a bit about the co-op program at UBC. And I know you're currently on your co-op. How does it work? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of doing a co-op?
Okay, so the co-op program you can apply after second year and after third year. So I applied when I was when I had finished second year, and so you have to go through quite a few steps in order to get into the co-op program. A co-op program is basically, I should explain that first. It's basically you're able to work full time within your field during your degree. So it becomes a part of your degree. It usually extends your degree by 1 year, and you can work full time while you're enrolled at UBC or any other university. So yeah, so after second year, I applied. You basically have to submit your cover letter, resume. Then there's a written assessment, and then there is like a group interview, and then you're accepted into the co-op program. After which you can then apply to jobs that you want to do, and the minimum requirement is that you do 12 months of full-time work, and then you've basically completed your co-op program. So yeah, I'm doing an 8-month term right now, which with an organization called Gearing Up. It is a nonprofit organization that basically offers a lot of STEM programs for youth, STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's across the province, across British Columbia. It's based out of UBC. And so I do their recruiting. And I'm right now in marketing, but I don't really, I have always found recruiting quite interesting. So I thought might as well try. And I've always been into nonprofits. So I thought this was a great opportunity. And it really gives you a good, like I've actually been using some of the concepts I've learned in my courses and applied them to real life. It's a great learning experience. You build a lot of good connections. And for international students, I think it's great because local students can take like time off of university in order to pursue work. However, international students, though you can, I think after you graduate, usually just get automatically a work permit, but if you take a break, you don't get a work permit. So co-op program is a good alternative to taking a break from university in order to do that.
Fantastic. And it doesn't really eat up on your like your requirements for visa. Like in the US, you have the OPT, CPT.
Okay.
And so here, if you do a co-op in between your graduation, you can still apply for that work for 2 to 3 years. What is the situation in Canada? How do you
so you get
stay on if you get an employer?
Sorry?
If you get employed, how do you plan to stay on, and what is the process?
Okay, so I'm not 100% because I think there have been some changes, but nothing major. You basically are automatically given, you apply, but you're guaranteed a work permit if you graduate from university, and then you can apply for jobs. I think, I'm not sure, but in the US, it's if you're a STEM major, then you
get 2+ years to work. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So here everyone gets it automatically, and you can, you can work.